Hello, looks like I have one person so far. That's okay though. I started the video about 5 minutes early, so I can do a little bit of sound checking and just make sure everything's working right. But hello and welcome. I'm gonna give everybody till 7 p.m. Mountain to join. So I'm just gonna play my video and check the sound really quick. So it might sound kind of crazy. You're welcome to start asking questions though if you want to go ahead and do that, because I will be treating this a little bit like a Q&A. Okay, I think it's working. Yep, okay. All right, first question from Supreme Surfers. It's going great. How about you? Ms. Trish RN, I'm doing great tonight. How about you? So I'm just going to give everybody until 7 p.m. Mountain before I go ahead and start the giveaway. You're welcome to ask questions until we get there. In fact, you can ask questions throughout. I'm gonna go ahead and try to answer these questions as we go, and I'll try to wrap up any questions at the end as well. Well, that's good. Glad you guys are doing well. Last time I wasn't able to do it with my phone, so pretty happy to be able to do it straight from my phone. It's much easier. Actually, Miss Trish RN, you're asking about my boat and whether or not it's winterized. I sold it. Must have missed that video. My 2018 24 MXZ is actually gone, so I'm looking at getting a new boat. Nate Dawson, that would be correct. I do not have a boat in my garage currently. I'm working on that right now. I don't know how you missed it. You got to keep up on those videos. Yeah, no, it was a couple of videos ago, Miss Trish RN. I did a video that said my boat's gone. Sold it right after Labor Day. Actually, the guy that bought it put down a deposit to hold it about almost a month prior to Labor Day, and then came and got it right after Labor Day. AZ Lambo, I know, I can't wait to share it with you. I got to finalize some details, and then I'm going to definitely have a video to share some updates. Sorry for the squeaking of my chair. Got an old chair, I need to update my chair at some point in time. That's all right. Hopefully there'll be more giveaways in the future. This one didn't have a great turnout, but Supreme Surfers, I'm sure there'll probably be another opportunity in the future to win something. All right, we got about a minute before we're going here. Oh man, my videos are great for traveling. You got to tune into them while you're traveling too. No, I understand. I kind of get the same, or feel the same way when I'm traveling around. I can't keep up to date on everything quite as well. Yeah, give away another board. It's possible. It's possible. Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and start, but you're welcome to keep on chatting. I'm going to try to stop here and there on the way through and just take a look at what people are saying and try to respond. I'm going to treat this like a Q&A for those of you who just joined, so you're welcome to ask any questions you want, and I'll try to answer all your questions so long as I know the answers. This giveaway is for a DJI OSMO Mobile 2 gimbal. It's pretty much brand new. I only used it about 5 times. I had a gimbal before this, and I actually got this gimbal as a package deal. And I thought it'd be a great backup, but it doesn't have a function that I mainly use with my other one. So So I decided just to do a giveaway, and if you don't have a gimbal already, it's going to be fantastic for you. In order to, and I'm just looking at my script here, so in case you're wondering what I'm looking at, just so I stay on task. So in order to have entered the giveaway, you would have had to be a subscriber. So if you weren't subscribed at the time, you'd have to subscribe. Current subscribers could enter as well. This was a video that I posted back in, or published back in June, beginning of June, so that's the video I'm referring to. You'd also have to share that video, like the video, and then comment on that, let me know you completed those steps, and then also provide me with your Instagram username. And that's the way that I'm going to reach out to the winner and find out where to send the prize. I decided to do that for this video because I kind of never thought that through on my last giveaway, on my first giveaway, but that worked out anyways. I got it to the right person and it worked out. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't any malfunction with that, so I decided to use Instagram to do that. So if any of you are wondering why I don't have a very big Instagram page, I don't do much on Instagram. I literally kind of have an Instagram for that purpose. And if you're kind of wondering what I do on Instagram for WakeMann, I literally just put pictures up there to kind of let people know what's coming up in the next video. So in case you want to kind of get a little sneak peek, that's what I've been doing. And I'm not really on top of it like I am my YouTube channel, but that's what I've been doing on that, in case you're wondering. So we'll just check to see. So Gene Cross is asking if I picked a new boat yet. I'm definitely kind of down in the final stages of that, but I don't want to say anything until I know for sure. So I will be sharing updates as soon as I know. I'll put a video out there and I'll share some more details with you. But yeah, hopefully I'll know very soon. G25, G23, those are both really nice boats, and definitely considering Nautique for sure. So, you know, and in my video where I talked about, or where I sold my boat, for those of you who watched it, know that the top two brands I'm considering are Malibu and Nautique. So yeah, G25, G23. I probably would not go with the G25. I just don't need that much of a boat. But G23 is definitely something I've been considering. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the prize before I do the drawing. It's in the video. It's been in the thumbnails, but I'll give you a little bit more of a rundown. So it comes with a case that you can, and it's kind of a thick foam, dense foam case. So here's the gimbal. I'm used to the angle being wider, so I have to kind of set it back a little bit. It does come with a charger, which is just a USB charger, so you have to have a USB port to plug it into. And here's the actual gimbal. It's got a nice ergonomic handle, nice and stout. It's actually not slick. It's kind of got a texture to it, so easy to grip. It's got your zoom over here. Here's how you can change whether or not it's going up or down, or looking up and down. You've got your mode button there, and you can, if you have the app on, you can actually use this to record and stop recording, or take pictures. So that is there, and then you obviously put the phone in here, and it syncs up against here, and then you can actually, depending on the weight of your phone, it's actually got a little counterweight here, so you slide this arm out to counterweight it. And typically, all the phones I've used, I have to use that counterweight. So that is the gimbal that I'm giving away. Putting it back in its case. So somebody's gonna win this today. So it also is gonna come with the original box. So it'll be nice, tight, and snug in that. And actually have the original packaging too, so it'll get mailed in the original packaging. And have the original manuals as well. So, or manual, I think it's just a couple different languages. So, that's what we're drawing for. All right, I just keep on checking to see if there's any new questions. None so far, so I'm going to move on to the drawing now. Like I said, this drawing did not turn out with very many entries, which was kind of surprising to me, but that's fine. I only have 22 entries, so if you entered this drawing, you have a really good chance of winning, a 1 in 22 chance of winning this gimbal. So What I'd like to know from you and anybody who watches this video, because this video will be saved and published, so other people can watch it too. What I'd like to know is what kind of giveaways do you want to see in the future? I've done a surfboard giveaway so far, and then a gimbal giveaway. I'd like to know what other giveaways you might like to see. And if I do another giveaway, I'm going to try to pick the most popular option that I can out of what I can afford, basically. Yeah, go ahead and comment below and let me know what things you might want to see in a giveaway. What I've been doing is just collecting entries for a period of time, and then I do a live drawing. But I might try to do that a different way. So any comments are appreciated on that. We got a couple of questions or comments here. You were not a fan of Supra, right? From Josh Stold. I'll tell you what, I think Supras are pretty cool boats, but the styling of them right now is just not my preference. And also, the nearest Supra dealer to me is over 9 hours away. So for me, that is a hard no. I can't, I put over 100 hours a year on my boat. There's no way I can be that far from my dealer. And that's just one of the struggles that I have with where I live. There's not as much boating activity around here to support every brand being near me. Rope and grip, AZ Lambo. You need a new one for your boat. I go with the Ronix North handle, and I add the T to it. I do that. I've done that for like the last 6 years. I just love the thickness of it, and it's usually a pretty good grip. So that's what I do. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's a staple and a standard to live by, but I love the Ronix North handle. So a good one. Rope, there's lots of different ropes out there I'd go with. I think the one I have right now is just a Pro Line. I've been using the same rope for probably 6 years too. And I actually struggle changing ropes because it kind of changes my lengths a little bit because I have to modify them a little bit. So I have a new rope as a backup, but I've been using the same one for 6 years. I might change it out next season, but I think I just use a Pro Line. The ropes I'm not as picky on. I just want it to be nice and tight and thin. And be rubber coated is pretty much all I care about. So Gene Cross is asking me, do you use Ronix for your surfboard also? If not, what brand and what length do you run? Okay, good question. I actually have a Hyperlite. The only surfboard I own I own 2 surfboards now. The one I've owned for a while is a Hyperlite. But one of the reasons I've been getting Hyperlite is because I get a good deal from my dealer. I prefer Phase 5 for a lot of things. I actually have a Phase 5 Model X now that I bought off a buddy. I actually like Phase 5's products a lot. I've ridden on several of them, and they're very buoyant, they're very fast, just nicely crafted. But I currently ride Hyperlite. So far I haven't found a Ronix board I like. So Nate Dawson says, if you were looking at a value brand boat, which one would you look at? Axis, Moomba, Supreme, ATX. Out of all 4 of those, I would probably definitely go with Axis. And the big reason for that is just because the performance is substantial amongst the value brands. Axis is known, and I've seen several reviews in this direction, and this could change over time. Newer versions of all these brands could change this, but Axis has been reviewed several years over as your best performance for your money. So as far as like what you're going to spend, and what performance you're going to get out of that, kind of best bang for your buck. Obviously, I'm a Malibu person. I love all the different luxury and options. So that's why I stick with Malibu. But Axis, for me so far, has been a great value brand. And I've ridden behind several and been on several, and I've been on some of the other ones as well. So that's my take on that. Yeah, actually, Miss Trish RN. I've been thinking about doing some gear. I just am not sure my channel would support it yet. But we can always talk about custom orders. I do T-shirts and hoodies. but I just do it, you know, per or what's needed. I order what's needed basically. So I get kind of a list of what people want, and then I order them. And I've only been doing that for kind of close friends and family so far, but I've been thinking about opening it up to my channel. Definitely, you know, comment and let me know if you're really interested in some of that stuff, because I would definitely be willing to, you know, do something like that. I just don't think that I can support right now, or the channel can support me holding an inventory of that type of stuff. What Ronix do I use for? I don't use a Ronix for surf. I do use Ronix for boots and for wakeboard. I definitely love their boots, and I've kind of been stuck with the Ronix 1 Time Bomb wakeboard, and I've been using the Ronix 1 boots. I always get them kind of like a model year late, so like I'm looking at the current stuff, but chances are I may not be able to. You know, I don't want to spend $600 to $800 on the most current wakeboard, just the board itself. But yeah, I don't use Ronix for surf. The Hyperlight board I use is the I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Hyperlight Hi-Fi Party Shark edition. It's got the straps on it, and I love it. I actually find myself riding the straps a lot. I know it's a bit of a cheat, but I'll tell you what, I have more fun on it, and that's the point. So, yeah, that's a good point, Gene. They do have a great wave. The T22 has a great wave. Yeah, other people want t-shirts too. And Shelton says he'd wear a sweatshirt or a hoodie. So yeah, I mean, I'll put it out there. I'll keep it in mind, and I've got a new design I'm coming up with. But I've had several ideas in mind, and maybe I'll make a video about that and see who all's interested and try to get a custom order going. So yeah. That's some good points, and I'll take that into consideration. So I'm going to take a break from answering questions right now, but you guys can keep on shooting those at me. I just want to get the drawing done. I don't want to be delaying it too much. I already feel like I'm doing that. I'm going to shake this up real good, and I'm going to try to look away and then draw a name. All right. I'm going to try to keep it up in the camera. I'm trying to look away here. Here we go. Here comes a winner. I've got one. All right, who is it? At Nick Lives Life. So this might be hard to see. I'm trying to get it to where it clears up. It's one of the problems with. Well, can't seem to get it to clear up, but I'll type it into the chat here. So, congratulations, at Nick Lives Life. I haven't seen him in the chat, so I don't know if he's here. If you're here, say something. But congratulations anyways. At Nick Lives Life, I'm going to reach out to you on Instagram. And, sorry, I'm just going to put something else in the chat here, just so in case he's here, who knows. So yeah, at Nick Lives Life, I'm going to reach out to you via direct message on Instagram, and you'll need to claim your prize within a week, and then I'll just need to know where to send it, and I'll ship that off to you. I'll reach out to him. So congratulations, at Nick Lives Life. I'll stay on as long as people are pumping off questions, probably for another, as long as another 10 minutes, I'll say. So if you guys have more questions or comments, you want to keep on popping them off, that's fine. If not, I'll just give it a few minutes and I'll close it. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and also everybody who tuned into my video and entered the drawing. Thanks to everybody who watches my videos and my subscribers and everybody who's liking and sharing. I really appreciate it. My channel has done great since the last drawing. My last drawing was to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm almost to 3,000 subscribers. I just passed 2,800 subscribers. Sorry, tripping over my words there. And so my channel is growing, and I'm happy with it. But yeah, I definitely would love to get my name out there a little more and kind of pump up the channel. Because it definitely helps me in providing better content. I like the idea of the t-shirts and hoodies. I've been thinking about it, but just didn't know if my channel would support it. So, I think I might have gotten a couple more questions here. So AZ Lambo Dreamin' is asking, how long have you been wakeboarding? So I actually wakeboarded for the first time probably in my early 20s. I'm 38 right now. I probably tried it somewhere around 22, 23 years old, but it was just one of those things where I was on a buddy's boat and I got to try it for a little bit. And honestly, they were kind of snobs about it and didn't give me much time with it because there was somebody on the boat that was really good. So, I always kind of didn't like that. So I like to give whoever's behind the boat lots of time. I don't care how good they are. If they want to go at it, I give them tons of time. I give them as much time as they want. But I tried it, and then I did not get to try it again for a while. And I tried it. I actually got some wave runners, and I had a wakeboard after that, and was wakeboarding behind a wave runner, which sucks because you didn't have a wake. I didn't really have anything to jump or get good at, especially when you're new at it. And then in 2010, I bought a boat. It was just a Sea Ray. So I was able to wakeboard and start jumping wake to wake, and I started doing grabs, but it just wasn't the level that I wanted it to be. But so then the next year, I had that boat for 2 summers. So the end of 2011, I bought my first wake boat, which was a 2007 23 LSV. And ever since then, I've just been going at it and learning new things. And it's just been a passion of mine ever since. I just love it and can't get enough of it. I'm starting to get to where things hurt more. I'm starting to feel my age, but I'm still going to try to go until my body can't do it anymore. And then, I always have surfing to fall back on, which is kind of cool about this sport. All right, so then Nate says, what are your goals for subs in 2021? I'm just happy if I'm getting good feedback. If I get, for example, if I have one video all of next year that gets between 1,000 and 10,000 views, that's good. To me, my channel's been doing plenty good. I actually only ever started making videos as a hobby because I use the heck out of my videos to try to make myself progress so I can see what I'm doing and try to see what I'm supposed to do and correct that. And I just started making edits, and then I thought it would be really cool to start doing a weekly video on YouTube and just kind of seeing where that went. And I've been doing it for the last 2.5 years. And honestly, once I got over 1,000 subscribers, it's starting to kind of support itself. And really, that's enough for me. Anything beyond where I'm at right now, I'm happy. But it is cool. It's very, very cool and very supportive and uplifting to me to watch it grow. Because the bigger my channel gets, the more I can provide better content and just kind of make my channel better. And I have just like a lot of people, I have great ideas. It's just that a good amount of those ideas would take a lot of financial support. But I have some pretty amazing ideas. It's just I'm not going to spend more than what's coming in. So a lot of my channel up until I got to 1,000 subscribers was just whatever I was doing because I don't want it to cost me money. So it's been great. I don't really care about if it doesn't grow a whole lot more, but I do, based on the way things look, I do expect that it will probably grow some more next summer. I think because my channel is mostly summer content, that it'll probably slow in its growth over the winter, and then it'll probably pick back up in the summer like it did this year. But I was lucky enough that I had a video, I have several videos, but my wakeboat ownership series has done really well, and one video in specific did really, really well this year. It's almost to 70,000 views, and that's not amazing, that's not a viral video, but for my channel, it was great. It brought in a lot of subscribers. So it really pumped up the channel. Heck yeah, that sounds good, AZ. Is there any other wake boats out on the lake you run? Seems like you have the whole lake to yourself and the views are awesome. So, Gene, most of that has to do with the fact that I get up and I get on the water by about 8:30 a.m. And I know that probably because I'm in Montana and Wyoming, there's less population. But I find that around here, most people don't want to get out of bed to go to the lake before noon. So in most cases, that leaves the lake all to me in the morning. And even in the lake that I go to is a 65-mile long, well, actually it's longer, but the canyon part of it is about 65 miles long. And most people go up the canyon, and I go out towards the mouth of the river and out in the open lake. And that is a place where a lot of people are at once, you get to 11 or noon. A lot of people will go out there. But I'm usually done wakeboarding by then, so it doesn't bother me as much. It doesn't bother me as much surfing, but wakeboarding is where it does bother me, and I'm usually done by then. That's why it looks like the lake is basically empty. It's because I'm out there early every day, and I started doing that once I figured that out. And I think that probably would apply to most lakes. I'm sure that you get to a more populated lake, and there's plenty of people that are getting out there early. But either way, you're gonna have less people. The earlier you go out. I've even got up as early as like 5 in the morning and gone out at 6 to make sure. And this was on a different lake, to make sure that I didn't have other boaters out there creating wakes. And this lake doesn't tend to have a lot of fishermen out where I'm at. A lot of the fishermen go up the canyon, so I'm not bothering them, and they're not bothering me. So it works out good. All right, Shelton, he said, do you snowboard or have a winter sport or training of some kind? So I do snowboard. I actually started snowboarding way before I started wakeboarding. I actually was very passionate about snowboarding when I was in high school. But I do have a limitation. I actually have a metal knee. I had cancer when I was a freshman in high school, when I was 14. So I have a full metal knee replacement. Everything from about the 2/3 of the way down my femur to the top of my tibia is metal except for my kneecap. So when I was snowboarding, I got pretty good, but I never did any spins or flips. And once I tried wakeboarding, it was like, oh my God, I can do flips and spins and wreck, and I'm not breaking legs or arms, So that's kind of what opened up wakeboarding for me. So yeah, I do snowboard. I've been kind of getting out of it more and more though, going once a year or so. And that's mostly because it hurts me a lot to go snowboarding. The older I get, I go out there and I can barely go 10 runs. When I was in high school, I could go from when it opened till it closed, but now it's starting to get to me. And I'm sure that's partially because I'm not out there all the time doing it. So my body's just not worked up to it. But I save my body for the summer every year. But yeah, I do snowboard. And mostly in the winter, I take a break. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Yeah, I know that's what sucks about Montana, AZ. We've actually had a really hot September and October so far. It was in the high 80s today, which is crazy for October. And it's crazy that I sold my boat in a year like this, because we get a year like this maybe every 4 to 5 years. But I know that's one of the things that sucks about living in Montana is, you can ride all year, even when stuff freezes up. Usually the rivers are open. But it's kind of stupid to. You're not really enjoying it like you do in the summer. You have to wear a dry suit. I know people that do it and they just do it so they can say they've done it, which is cool. But I just don't have an interest unless I can spend 2 hours in the water wakeboarding. That's my normal set. I take about a 2-hour set, and you just can't do that when it's in the middle of the winter, or even when it gets to this time of year. It starts getting pretty dang cold, and it's easier to tolerate a lot of cold in the beginning of the year because you're pumped to get out there, but then towards the end of the season, you're so used to the warmth that the cold hurts more. So yeah, I wish that I could go longer, but I do enjoy that I get a lake to myself for most of the time. So yeah, I guess I don't understand that. So you're saying, so Yvette said, well, in AZ the best water is when you're on the ramp at 5. But maybe what you're saying is that it's such a busy lake that you have to be out there really, really early. And I can understand that. That's probably an advantage to Montana and Wyoming is we got a lower population, so it just doesn't get that way. And I think it's just the colder water too. People want to wait until they're sweating before they get out in the water. And I just wear a wetsuit most of the year. I'm only out of a wetsuit for probably a month, maybe a month and a half, And a lot of that has to do, I could be out of a wetsuit pretty much all of June, all the way through August. But when you're in the water for 2 hours at a time, it chills you down pretty quick. Usually after an hour, if it's like in June, you're not going to want to be in the water anymore. So I wear a wetsuit so I can stay out longer. So Gene says, what age will you start working with Wakely to get on a board, and does your wife ride? So yeah, I actually got Wakely to, I was riding on a surfboard with her in my arms this year, which was a huge goal for me, and I didn't know if it was going to happen. So that I was pumped about that. I'm actually going to try next year to start her on the surfboard in a really agile way. I'm not going to force it though. The last thing I want to do is force her to do something and then she is scared of it and hates it. So I'm gonna try it, but I'm not gonna do it to where it scares the crap out of her. But yeah, I'm gonna try next year. And the only reason why I'm starting with surfing is because it's lower speeds, lower impact, and it's easier to get them started on a board. Just get them comfortable with a board. They can lay on it at first. You can go very slow. So I'm gonna do that next year. And then the second part of that question you're asking about my wife. So my wife does wakeboard and wake surf. And I think she'd be amazing at it if she cared about it as much as I do, because she's a dancer. So she has very good balance and she's very, very in shape normally. But because she dances on a regular basis, but she just doesn't care about it as much as me. In fact, when I would say, well, just to give you an example, this year she wakeboarded twice and she surfed twice out of the whole season. And that's a lot of that has to do with the fact she doesn't care to get into cold water. She does have a wetsuit, and there have been years where she's into it more. And I think probably the recent reason why she hasn't been doing it as much is because 2 seasons ago she was pregnant. Then we had a really young baby last year, and now we have basically what was going into a toddler this year. So it's been hard for her to even think about it, I think. And by the time she's driven me for 2 to 3 hours, usually she just wants to get off the water because she's been filming me, she's been driving the boat, she's been dealing with our daughter. So usually she just wants to go get off the water and take a break. So that's most of it. But yeah, she does ride. Yeah, I agree, AZ. I have plans. It's on my list to do a beginner's video on how to get up. Some of those things. I'll tell you what. With trick tips, my trick tips series, I've chosen. A lot of people have asked me to do tutorials, and I've kind of chosen not to do full tutorials. And the reason for that is because there are tutorials out there that are pretty great the way they sit. And I've actually learned from those tutorials. So usually I'll do trick tips when I feel like I have really good points to provide. So usually my trick tips are to tell you like those things that got me over the edge, and then in those videos I'll refer you to the tutorials that I think are good, that are other videos out there. And a lot of times there's Sean Murray, JB O'Neill, and then there's learnwake.com. So those are kind of a lot of ones that I've used over the years. So a lot of times when I do trick tips, it's to provide you those little things that really helped me and try to give details on those things. But I definitely can think of some of those things for how to get up for the first time and things like that. So they're on my list, and I appreciate all the ideas. I will and keep them coming, because in the off season is when I'm more so working on those lists of ideas that other people are providing me. So yeah, eventually there will be a video probably on that. I just couldn't tell you when. I have a list and I try to just prioritize it and hit whatever one seems like the next one that I should do. But I definitely take note of everybody's comments and ideas, and that's my idea list that I use. So thanks, and there'll probably be a video on that soon. Yvette, so I kind of answered that before. I'm still trying to hammer out the details on what new boat I'm going to get. It's definitely down to Nautique or Malibu, and I'm aching to tell you guys, but it's not finalized yet. So I will let you know as soon as I know. I'll put a video out on it, and give you some details on that. So just a heads up, I'm going to shut down here soon. So I'm going to start kind of answering these questions quicker, and then I'm going to shut down. So Shelton says, are you more or less self-taught, like through YouTube and whatnot? Have you ever had a good rider give you lessons? So I would say I am more or less self-taught, but I use Wake Tips on my phone, which is an app, and I would suggest you download it. The reason why I like that app is because it's a great it's great to just look at really quick when you're on the lake. You have it right with you when you're on the lake. I have Sean Murray's Detention 2012, which goes over a lot of different tricks. I also watch a lot of videos, Sean Murray's videos, learnwake.com, JB O'Neill's videos, and I did go to the wakeboarding school, it's called the boarding school in Orlando, Florida, which is run by Travis Moy, and it was great. I would say that the best thing about that was the fact that it motivated the crap out of me. So yes, and I spent 3 days there. Normally you would spend a week. But I spent 3 days there, and that definitely helped me get over the hump. That season, right after I went to the boarding school, is when I got my first invert, which was a back roll, and I worked on that there. And middle of my season, I got a back roll, and that just led me to tons more. And I got my first wake-to-wake frontside 180 that year. And just the next year came with more. I got my first 360 after that, so that definitely motivated me. But I mean, I tap into everything I can get my hands on. It's just hard for me to go on trips because usually the best time to go to those places is during my season, and I don't leave Montana or my lake during my season. It's just I just love to be here, and I love where I'm at. So hopefully that answers the question. And Yvette says the Nautiques are some awesome boats. They throw huge wakes and waves, and they are reliable. Hey, I agree. One of the boats I'm considering pretty heavily is the G23. I've heard lots about their wake in the past, but in the past they haven't. It seems like, from what I can tell and from what I hear a lot, that Malibu still has a better wave. But I still am a wakeboarder, and I still am still very interested in that wake. And I think Nautique probably has a really good wave. It's just it's from what I understand, it's not quite as good as the Malibu wave. So that's one of my considerations. But the other consideration that I'm trying to toil over right now is that my Malibu dealer is 3 hours away, and my Nautique dealer, the closest one, is 5 hours away. So I've had a relationship with the Malibu dealer. So that's the biggest thing I'm toiling over right now, and I haven't made a final decision on that. But I will let you know as soon as I can. At this point, it's a toss-up. But yeah, I agree. I've always liked Nautique for their fit and finish, their resale value. They're cool boats. Yeah, the Paragon, I can agree. It looks like it's pretty incredible, but who can afford one of those damn things? I would love to have a Paragon, and I would love to have an M240 as well. But I'm not going to be going for either one of those boats. It would be I love how they took the Paragon styling though and put that on the 2021 G23 line. So that's pretty cool. It's the same running surface from what I understand, just not as heavy. The Paragon's a little heavier. So I do think that's very cool. So yeah, but those boats are ways out of my budget. That, and I like not having a supercharged engine. And I think with either the Paragon or the M240, you have to have the supercharged engine. You don't have to, but I think it's probably a good idea to push more weight. But I like not having the supercharged engine because I don't use as much fuel. I've done really well with my 2018 24 MXZ with the 450 in it. It did great. So I'm leery of that, but also it's too much money for me. So at least at this point in time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, congrats to Nick at Nick Lives Life. So yeah, keep tuned in for more videos. There'll be another video next Tuesday. I'll try to do some more. Giveaways, but I'll just have to do that as it goes. I don't know when the next one will be. But yeah, thanks again. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down.